a Playlyst original.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast,
where we review the pilot episodes of TV shows to answer your question, should I watch this?
My name is Mitu.
And my name is BJ.
And this week, we're watching the listener-requested The Burbs on Peacock.
So stay tuned to find out Mitu's ideal neighbor friend group.
Ooh, okay.
And while you plan and decide on who these neighbors would be, can you tell us what happened in The Burbs?
In this adaptation of the Tom Hanks-led cult classic, we meet young couple Samira, played by Keke Palmer, and Rob, played by Jack Whitehall, who move with their baby into Rob's childhood home, which is supposed to be in a safe cul-de-sac, but is instead filled with odd neighbors and dark secrets.
Ooh, mysterious.
Yes, though honestly, the first word that comes to mind is funny. This show is so funny.
This is a comedy, and I think a lot of the humor is actually coming from the neighbors rather than our lead couple.
I am obsessed with this group of oddballs. We have Lynn, who is a widow, played by Julia Duffy. We have retired Marine Dana, played by the iconic Paula Pell. And we have Lone Wolf, Todd, played by Mark Proksch, who also is my king from What We Do in the Shadows.
And shout out to Naveen, Rob's childhood friend, played by Kapil Talwalkar, who pops up a lot in their home.
Yes, Naveen, much like me, is a fiend for brownies.
And he has story reasons to have some extra time on his hands.
Okay, sure. It's just there was nothing more relatable on screen to me than him figuring out how to summon his very best ninja skills to access some brownies that he wasn't supposed to have. It's the best sweet treat.
It's those little moments that really bring out the smiles. Naveen stealing brownies, Todd popping up and knowing everything that's going on, even learning more about why Dana moved to this neighborhood.
When Samira asks Todd what he does for a living, the way he delivers the line, this and that, was so funny. And then Keke Palmer's face after, incredible. And then when she and Dana see that the house across the street, this mystery that we'll get into, has an open house. And she's like, all right, do you want to check out the house? Like, are we going to do this? And Dana goes, does a white lady love salads? It's just so funny because I think that line could sound corny coming from anyone else, but the way Paula Pell delivers it, I was like, yeah, white lady loves salads. Go check out that house.
And we have Lynn, who surprised me. Her first encounter with Samira, a little concerning.
Yes.
It seems like she might be the kind of gatekeeper for this neighborhood group, but she does invite Samira into their wine drinking club.
It was rough at first, but I like that we didn't linger there. And I like that instead she kind of becomes immediately like a fierce friend and advocate.
She bonds with her neighbors very quickly.
This is a cul-de-sac crew that loves each other. The other humor, of course, comes from our Keke Palmer. Watching Samira in the house during the open home, because the mystery is initially that there is this very creepy old house where someone disappeared across the street from Samira and Rob. And it is hard for Samira to find details on this, which is like a classic horror movie or scary movie trope.
And Rob knows stuff.
And Rob is withholding some information. We don't know yet what he knows. What I loved was watching Samira go through the house during the open house. And instead of leaning into the danger, she sees something like initially and she goes, nope, immediately backs out of that room and then goes toward another place, sees something even creepier. The way she runs out of the house, I was like, okay, this is my girl. And
Smart.
It kind of almost felt like Scream Queens.
She has the self-preservation skills you want in any sort of movie or TV show where there's a horror-esque element.
Yes. And we learned that she's a lawyer. She's home with her baby, but kind of bored and alone. And so she has nothing but time to think about what could be going on across the street. And I like that as a gender bend from the movie because Tom Hanks in the movie is the one who suspects the neighbors. And this one, it's Samira. But also the story is almost completely different about what the mystery is. It's more inspired by, I would say, than a remake. But I really liked having Samira as our lead investigator in this. And one of my favorite themes for a mystery is like Hitchcock Rear Window, where someone with binoculars up to a window is seeing something across the street, and maybe people don't totally believe them initially. Like they think they saw something happening, a person in the window who disappears, a crime, something like that. And I like that kind of topsy-turvy. Did I see that? Did I not? And we're going to get a lot of that with Samira looking at that house all day.
We've already seen strange things popping up in the window, and we're not sure what she's seeing. And I like in this version of this type of story, her husband, Rob, believes her. He believes that she is seeing weird stuff, that this house is odd. And at the same time, because Rob grew up in this cul-de-sac, he knows something about what goes on in that house. So he's supporting her while probably withholding the answer to all her questions.
And I'm a little suspicious of Rob from the perspective of he seems to be very popular in this community.
Very popular.
But he doesn't seem to remember a lot of what people are talking about or the people that are like, oh my gosh, it's you. And also, he hasn't really expressed that to Samira. Like, people are seeing him from their youth, like, oh my gosh, Rob is back. And they're acting like this is the second coming of Christ. And yet, he is barely remembering these people and he's playing it down. So, I don't know, maybe this character was embarrassed about being like top jock person in high school, but he also doesn't feel like that kind of person.
That's a good point. Now that you pointed out, it does seem odd with all the strong love from the community.
Yes.
At first, I took it as his family, so maybe more his parents are the one that everyone knows about. And so he might not have been the popular person in the family, but everyone knows he's related.
Okay. So off the strength of being like the British kid.
The Whitehalls. Everybody knows him.
Okay, perhaps.
That's how I took it. I can also see it being a little odd that he doesn't remember everyone that loves him so much.
Maybe I was just being a little Samira. I was like, okay, Mr. Popular, what's the story? Tell us. Because you're playing it very casual about your relationship with this community.
And I will say the writers are very casual about this mystery. All we know is strange house across the street. And honestly, there's not much more to it after this 45-minute episode.
That's the thing. It's a long episode for mostly humor and meeting a neighborhood full of oddballs. What I will say makes the show work is Keke Palmer as our central lead.
Yes.
She is so interesting, and I love the theme of isolation, the fact that she's literally alone at home, she's lonely at home, and she's lonely within this community even when people are around her. And it's a lot of time we're spending with Samira, sometimes watching her be in her own head. And Keke Palmer is so interesting in this role and so intriguing to watch that for me, it makes up for the lack of mystery. Now, do I need to see the mystery pick up as we continue the show, or at least as I continue it? Yes. But in this first episode, it worked as like a study of Samira. Even when she FaceTimes her brother, Langston, played by RJ Kyler, who I love that actor. When she FaceTimes him and we see her finally relax and be herself with her brother and silly, even that felt like another big layer.
I agree. I think Keke as a charismatic actress is key to this storyline being interesting. Like you, I can be a little patient with the mystery. They're setting it up. And the whole neighborhood vibe is really the draw for me so far, because those relationships developing is what pulls the story forward while we wait for whatever's going to happen in that house.
There's even something pretty intense that happens at the end of the first episode, and the neighbors come together behind it for Samira, and that was a very compelling episode close for me, because I liked seeing the beginning of what each person is bringing beyond being like a kooky character. Like, okay, but the way that you are kooky is about to be very helpful.
That's true. Everyone has their own strengths. So, Mitu, will you watch more episodes of The Burbs on Peacock?
I would watch again, seriously. Keke Palmer Hive, tap in. This is a very good show. This is a very good Keke Palmer vehicle. I think you will enjoy this. Also, Comedy Mystery Hive, tap in. The mystery is still building, I will say. Like, it's not very mysterious in this first episode, but there's enough there that I know generally what I think we'll be following, and I like this cast of characters so much that I'm excited to see them continue to have great chemistry with each other and be funny. Because I would also say on shows like this, sometimes I feel like they stack the cast and it's more stunt casting to almost make up for the show. In this case, it feels like everyone is really complimenting each other and the story.
Does Keke Palmer have a fandom name?
The Palm Trees. That's what we call ourselves. I made that up.
I like it, though.
I was lying. I'm sorry. Do you see how bad I am?
You spoke with confidence.
I just didn't want to do misinformation.
Thank you for being honest in this age of fake news.
Anytime.
I also would watch again, seriously. I enjoyed the Neighbors so much as a group, including Samira and Rob. That group dynamic of all the different personalities coming together is so funny and heartwarming at times because you see true friendships starting to build. And I don't think we have that in neighborhoods nowadays as much. So it is nice to see it even in a fictional universe.
Yeah, it's true.
So you are tasked with building your own neighborhood, and you pick the neighbors for your neighbor friend group. What are these people like?
Okay, here's the thing. My actual dream, as you know, but our listeners may not know, is I have a compound.
Okay.
And everyone I love lives on that compound. So it's like, I'm in a home, BJ's in the home right next door. Our friends are in the homes next to that. Like,
I walked into this, yeah.
That's actually my actual dream.
Okay.
I'm just trying to convince y'all. I have one of our friends convinced, by the way. I'll tell you after about that. But she and I have been cooking something.
Oh.
Beyond that, if we were doing this fictionally, I would say I would have a friend named BJ.
Oh.
He would be in the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
And then I like this. I love a group of kooky people. Because I think, what else do you call your family and go, oh my goodness, guess what this person said the other day? They keep things interesting.
You wouldn't be like, I want Keke Palmer as my neighbor. I want Beyonce as my neighbor. I want my favorite basketball player as my neighbor.
No, I feel like there'd be way too many cameras and interest. I just need BJ and the kooky characters. But maybe in the neighborhood next door, basketball players. That would be so fun.
Or one cul-de-sac over.
Yeah, one cul-de-sac over is like a combination of all the basketball players that I admire, because then I can just ask them questions about their lives.
On your walk through the neighborhood.
Yeah, just totally normal, chatting in the driveway. Really interesting the way you rely on the left, but you're flexible on the right. Tell me about that. And then obviously they would just be thrilled to talk about work while like being at the end of their driveway, which they probably never are. These are very likely not people who take out their own trash.
Yeah, these don't feel like cul-de-sac people, but it's your world.
Okay, that's what I want in my world.
Well, that's a fantasy. So if you want real reviews, head to our website, thepilotpodcast.com. And you can follow us on all your favorite podcast platforms.
You can also follow us on Instagram at thepilotpod, and you can send thoughts, feelings, show recommendations, because every other week, just like this one, we do a show recommended by you, our wonderful listeners, to askthepilotpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Bye.